My sister-in-law kissed me at her wedding and said she's been in love with me for 6 years. Now she's calling me sobbing every night and my wife found the call log. Our entire family is in chaos. I'm Madison. I'm 31 years old and until 3 weeks ago, I thought I had a pretty normal life. I work in marketing. I have a golden retriever named Pepper. I've been married to my wife Olivia for 2 years and we were talking about starting a family. The wedding was supposed to be perfect. Olivia's younger sister Amber was marrying this guy named Derek, who honestly seemed kind of boring, but whatever. He made her happy. Or so we all thought. I was one of the bridesmaids because I'm family now, and Amber insisted. We'd always gotten along fine. Normal sister-in-law stuff. We'd grab coffee sometimes. She'd come over for game nights. Nothing weird. Nothing that would make me think anything was off. The ceremony was beautiful. Outdoor venue, string lights everywhere. Amber looked stunning in her dress. When they said I do, I actually teared up a little because I'm a sap like that. The reception started and everything was normal. Dancing, speeches, the usual wedding chaos. I was on my 3rd glass of champagne when Amber grabbed my arm near the bathroom hallway. She said she needed to talk to me about something important. About Olivia's birthday gift. That's what she said. So I followed her down this hallway away from the main reception area. It was quieter there. Dimmer. She was fidgeting with her bouquet and I remember thinking she looked nervous, but hey, it's her wedding day. Everyone's nervous. Then she just looked at me with these intense eyes I'd never seen before and said, "Madison, I can't do this anymore." I was confused. Can't do what? The wedding. I thought maybe she was having cold feet and needed someone to talk her down, but then she kissed me. Like actually kissed me. On the mouth. Her hands on my face. And I just stood there frozen because what the actual hell was happening? When she pulled back, she was crying. Full tears running down her face, ruining her makeup. And she said, "I've been in love with you for 6 years, Madison. Since the day Olivia first brought you home. I can't marry Derek knowing I feel this way about you." I literally couldn't speak. My brain just stopped working. She kept going. Said she tried to get over it. That's why she started dating Derek in the first place. That every time she saw me with Olivia, it killed her inside. That she thought getting married would fix it, but standing at that altar all she could think about was me. I finally found my voice and said, "Amber, what are you talking about? You're marrying Derek right now. This is insane." She grabbed my hands. Said she knew it was wrong, but she had to tell me. Had to know if there was any chance I felt the same way. And I just said no. "No, I don't. I love your sister. I married your sister. This is completely inappropriate and you need to go back to your wedding." Her face just crumbled. She looked destroyed. But I walked away. I went straight back to the reception and found Olivia and held her hand for the rest of the night like nothing happened. Because what was I supposed to do? Tell my wife that her sister just confessed feelings for me at her own wedding? Ruin Amber's marriage before it even started? Blow up the whole family? I thought if I just ignored it, maybe it would go away. It did not go away. The calls started 2 days after the wedding. Amber called me at work. I didn't answer. She called again that night. I declined it. Then she started texting. "Please talk to me, Madison. I need to explain. I made a huge mistake. I can't stop thinking about you. Derek doesn't know. Please don't tell Olivia." I blocked her number. But then she called from different numbers. From Derek's phone, from their landline, from her work phone. I'd be in meetings and my phone would buzz and it would be another unknown number and I'd know it was her. The voicemails were worse. She'd be crying, saying she couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, that she made the biggest mistake of her life marrying Derek, that she should have been honest years ago. On voicemail, she said she thought about calling off the wedding that morning, but her parents had spent so much money and everyone was already there. Another one, she said Derek was a good man, but she didn't love him the way she loved me. That it wasn't fair to him either. I deleted every single message without listening to the whole thing, but I couldn't stop her from calling. Then about a week ago, she started calling late at night, like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. I'd wake up to my phone buzzing on the nightstand and Olivia sleeping next to me, and I'd have to slip out of bed and decline the call in the bathroom. This happened 4 nights in a row. I was exhausted, stressed. Olivia asked if I was okay, and I said work was just really busy right now. I'm not a good liar. 3 nights ago, I woke up at 1 a.m. and Amber was calling again. I was so tired and frustrated that I answered. I went into the guest bedroom and I whispered, "What do you want from me?" She was sobbing, absolutely broken, said she couldn't do this anymore. That living with Derek felt like a lie, that every day was torture. I told her she needed to stop calling me, that this was inappropriate and unfair and I couldn't help her. She said she just needed to talk to someone who understood, that I was the only person who knew the truth, and I felt bad. I know I shouldn't have, but I did. So I stayed on the phone for 20 minutes while she cried and talked about how confused she was. When I hung up, I felt sick, like I was betraying Olivia just by listening, but Amber kept calling. The next night, and the next night, and I kept answering because I didn't know what else to do. I thought maybe if I just let her talk it out, she'd eventually move on. I was so stupid. Yesterday morning, Olivia came into the kitchen while I was making coffee and she had my phone in her hand. She said, "Why is Amber calling you every night?" My stomach dropped straight through the floor. She'd woken up to use the bathroom and saw my phone lighting up with Amber's name at 2 a.m. So she went through my call log while I was still asleep. 37 calls from Amber in 2 weeks, most of them after midnight, and I'd answered at least 10 of them. Olivia asked what the hell was going on. Her voice was so quiet, so controlled, which is how I knew she was really angry. I didn't know what to say. The truth felt impossible, but lying felt worse. So I told her everything. The kiss, the confession, the calls, all of it. Olivia just stared at me. Her face went completely blank. Then she asked why I didn't tell her immediately, and I said I didn't want to ruin Amber's wedding. Didn't want to cause drama in the family. Thought it would blow over. She said, so instead you've been having secret phone calls with my sister in the middle of the night for 2 weeks. When she put it like that, it sounded so much worse than it was. I tried to explain that I was just trying to get Amber to stop, that I wasn't interested in her at all, that I loved Olivia and only Olivia, but Olivia was already leaving the kitchen. She said she needed space, grabbed her keys and left. She didn't come home that night. I called her probably 50 times, texted her 100 times, nothing. She finally responded this morning with one text. "Staying at Jessica's, need time to think. Don't contact me. Jessica is her best friend. Has been since college." I knew if Olivia was at Jessica's place, then Jessica knew everything and probably hated me now too. I felt like my entire life was imploding and I had no idea how to fix it. Then my phone rang. Olivia's mom, Patricia. My hands were shaking when I answered. Patricia didn't even say hello. She just launched into, "How could you do this to my daughter? How could you go behind her back with Amber? What kind of person does this?" I tried to explain that I didn't do anything, that Amber kissed missed me and I rejected her. That I was just trying to help. Patricia said helping would have been telling Olivia immediately. Instead, I'd been sneaking around taking calls from Amber like we were having an affair. I said that's not what this was at all. She said it doesn't matter what I think it was. It matters what it looks like. And it looks like I was entertaining Amber's feelings while lying to Olivia. Then she said Amber called her crying last night too. Said she told Derek everything. That Derek packed a bag and left their apartment. My heart stopped. Amber told Derek. Patricia said the whole family knows now. Everyone's calling everyone. Olivia's dad is furious. Amber's a mess. Derek's family is threatening to get their wedding gifts back. It's a complete disaster. And according to Patricia, it's all my fault. She said I should have shut Amber down from the beginning. Should have told Olivia immediately. Should have done literally anything except what I actually did. Then she hung up on me. I sat on my couch with Pepper's head in my lap and just cried. Everything was falling apart and I didn't know how to stop it. My phone kept buzzing. Texts from Olivia's family members. Most of them not friendly. Olivia's aunt called me a homewrecker. Her cousin said I always seemed sketchy. Even Olivia's grandmother, who's like 85, sent me a text with a thumbs down emoji. The only person who didn't contact me was Olivia. I tried calling Amber. Her phone was off. I tried calling Derek. Straight to voicemail. I felt completely helpless. Like I was watching my life burn down and couldn't do anything about it. Then around dinner time, someone knocked on my door. Hard. Aggressive. Knocking. I looked through the peephole and it was Derek. I opened the door and he looked awful. Eyes red. Hair a mess. He smelled like he hadn't showered. He pushed past me into my living room and said we need to talk. I said okay. I'm so sorry, Derek. I didn't want any of this. He laughed. This bitter, horrible laugh. Said yeah, I bet you didn't. Then he told me something I wasn't expecting at all. He said Amber didn't just confess feelings for me. She told him she'd been sabotaging their relationship for months. Apparently back in January, Amber convinced Derek to take a job in Seattle. He's in tech and the offer was amazing. He was about to accept it when Amber suddenly said she couldn't leave her family, that she needed to stay close to them. Derek thought it was sweet. Turned down the job, stayed in their current city. But according to what Amber told him last night, she only did that because she couldn't stand being far away from me. She wanted to stay close to Olivia and me. He said there were other things too. Times she'd cancel their plans if she knew Olivia and I were going to be at a family event. How she always insisted on sitting next to me at dinners. How she'd volunteer to help us move apartments or paint our guest room or literally any excuse to be around. Derek said he thought she was just being a good sister-in-law, being close with family. He never suspected anything. Now he felt like their entire relationship was built on a lie. I didn't know what to say. I'd never noticed any of that stuff. Or maybe I had and just didn't think anything of it. Derek said he loved Amber. He really did. But he couldn't be with someone who was in love with someone else. Who married him as a consolation prize? He started crying then. This 33-year-old software engineer just breaking down in my living room. I got him some tissues and water and we just sat there for a while. Then he asked if I ever suspected. If I ever felt anything from Amber. I said honestly no. I thought we were just friends. Family. He nodded. Said he believed me. That he could tell from how I acted at the wedding that I was blindsided too. He said he was leaving town for a while. Going to stay with his brother in Colorado. He needed space from all of this. Then he said something that made my blood run cold. He said be careful, Madison. Amber's not stable right now. When he left their apartment last night, she was talking about all these wild ideas. About how maybe this was meant to happen. How the universe was giving her a sign. How now that everything was out in the open, maybe we could finally be together. I said I have zero interest in being with Amber. He said I know that, but I'm not sure Amber knows that. After Derek left, I locked all my doors and windows. I felt paranoid. Scared even. Which was crazy because this was Amber. Sweet Amber who brought me coffee when I was sick and laughed at my dumb jokes. But she'd also kissed me at her wedding and called me obsessively for weeks and apparently been orchestrating her life around me for years without me knowing. I didn't sleep that night. Just kept Pepper close and jumped at every sound. Around 3 a.m. my phone rang. Unknown number. I let it go to voicemail. The voicemail was Amber. She was drunk, slurring her words. Said everyone was mad at her, but she didn't care because she finally told the truth. Finally stopped pretending. She said she knew I was scared, but I didn't need to be. That we could figure this out together. That Olivia would understand eventually. That we were meant to be. I deleted the voicemail immediately, but my hands were shaking. This wasn't just messy family drama anymore. This was starting to feel dangerous. The next morning, Jessica called me. Not texted, called. She said Olivia wanted to see me. That they were at a coffee shop downtown and I should come alone. I drove there, probably breaking several traffic laws. When I walked in, Olivia was sitting at a corner table with Jessica next to her like a bodyguard. Olivia looked exhausted. Dark circles under her eyes. She didn't look at me when I sat down. Jessica did all the talking at first. Said Olivia needed to hear my side of things directly. No texts, no phone calls, face to face. So I told them everything again. Every detail. The kiss, the calls. Why I didn't say anything. How I thought I was helping. Olivia finally looked at me and said you should have told me. I said I know. I'm so sorry. I made the wrong choice. She said did. You ever have feelings for Amber? I said no, never, not even a little bit. Jessica asked why I kept answering her calls. Then, and I tried to explain how Amber sounded so broken on the phone. How she kept saying she had no one else to talk to. How I thought if I just listened, she'd eventually process her feelings and move on. Olivia said so you felt bad for her. I said yes. I know that sounds stupid now, but yes. Olivia was quiet for a long time. Then she said I don't know if I can trust you anymore, Madison. Those words felt like a knife in my chest. I said I never lied to you. I just didn't tell you something I should have told you immediately. And I know that's almost the same thing, but it's not quite the same thing. Jessica scoffed. Said that was semantics. Maybe it was. But it was all I had. Olivia said she needed more time. That she was going to stay with Jessica for a while longer. That we'd figure out what comes next eventually, but not today. Then she left. Just stood up and walked out while I sat there with tears running down my face and Jessica giving me this look of pure disappointment. I drove home in a daze. Everything hurt. My head, my chest, my whole body felt heavy. When I got back to my apartment, there was a note taped to my door. Messy handwriting on notebook paper. I'm sorry for ruining everything. I just needed you to know the truth. I love you. I've always loved you. Please give me a chance to explain everything properly. I'm staying at the Marriott on 5th Street, room 412. Please come tonight. Please. Amber, I took the note inside and stared at it for probably 20 minutes. Every logical part of my brain said, do not go. This is a terrible idea. Nothing good can come from this. But I also knew this wasn't going to stop until I confronted it directly. Until I looked Amber in the eye and told her in no uncertain terms that nothing was ever going to happen between us. So I went. The Marriott was nice. Corporate nice. I took the elevator to the 4th floor and found room 412 at the end of the hallway. I knocked. Amber opened the door immediately like she'd been waiting right there. She looked terrible. Hair unwashed, eyes puffy, wearing sweatpants and a stained t-shirt. She said you came. Like she was genuinely surprised. I walked in but left the door open. Said I came to tell you this needs to stop, Amber. She started talking fast. Said she knew everyone was mad but didn't I see this was fate. That everything happening was because we were supposed to be together. That the universe was clearing the path for us. I said, Amber, there is no us. There will never be an us. I love Olivia. I married Olivia. You're her sister. She said, but you felt it too, didn't you? That kiss. There was something there. I said the only thing I felt was shock and betrayal. Her face fell. She said you don't mean that. I said I absolutely mean that. And you need to get help. Therapy, something, because this obsession isn't healthy. She got angry then. Said it wasn't an obsession. It was love. Real love. Not like the comfortable partnership I had with Olivia, but actual passionate love. I said you don't love me, Amber. You don't even know me. You love some idea of me you built up in your head. She started crying. Said I was wrong. That she knew me better than anyone. That we had a connection. I said we have nothing. And I'm leaving now. Don't call me. Don't text me. Don't come to my apartment. I'm done. I walked toward the door and she grabbed my arm. Not hard but desperate. She said, what am I supposed to do now? Derek left me. My family hates me. I destroyed my whole life for you. I pulled my arm away and said I didn't ask you to do any of that. You made these choices. You need to deal with the consequences. Then I left. Walked straight to my car and drove home and blocked every number I could think of that Amber might use. That was 4 days ago. And things have somehow gotten even worse. Olivia's parents officially uninvited me from Thanksgiving. Just sent an email saying given recent events, they think it's best if I don't attend family gatherings for the foreseeable future. Olivia still won't see me. We've texted a few times, but it's all surface level. How's Pepper? Did you pay the electric bill? Nothing real. Amber apparently checked herself into some kind of wellness retreat center. One of those places where they take your phone and you do yoga and therapy all day. Derek heard from one of her friends. Derek actually called me yesterday. From Colorado. Said he's filing for annulment. Said in his state you can get an annulment if one party was in love with someone else at the time of marriage. Which applies here. He sounded better. Calmer. Said he's thinking about taking that Seattle job after all. Making a fresh start. I told him I was happy for him. And I meant it. At least one person was getting out of this mess okay. But me. I'm living in limbo. Sleeping in the guest bedroom because our bed feels too big and sad. Eating takeout for every meal. Taking Pepper on long walks where I just replay everything in my head trying to figure out where I went wrong. Was it the moment I didn't tell Olivia right away? Was it when I answered the first late night call? Was it something even earlier that I missed? Some signal I should have picked up on. My therapist, who I started seeing 3 days ago, said I can't blame myself for other people's choices. That Amber's feelings were her responsibility to manage, not mine. But it doesn't feel that way. It feels like if I'd just done one thing differently, none of this would have happened. Yesterday, I finally got a real text from Olivia. Not about bills or the dog. She said we need to talk about what happens next. About us. I said okay. When? She said this weekend. She'd come to the apartment. We'd figure it out. So now it's Friday night and tomorrow Olivia's coming over and I have no idea if she's coming to work things out or to tell me she wants a divorce. I cleaned the apartment. Made sure all of Amber's calls were deleted from my phone. Prepared myself to grovel and beg and do whatever it takes to save my marriage. But I also prepared myself for the possibility that it's over. That I destroyed the best thing in my life by trying to avoid conflict. Jessica texted me this morning. Just said Olivia loves you. She's hurting but she loves you. Don't give up. I held on to that text like a lifeline. Pepper's been extra cuddly. Dogs know when something's wrong. She keeps putting her head on my lap and looking at me with those big brown eyes like she's trying to fix everything with pure canine love. I'm sitting on the couch now, writing this out because I needed to tell someone what happened. My friends know bits and pieces, but not the whole story. And I can't tell my family because they just say I told you so about rushing into marriage. Tomorrow Olivia's coming. Over at 2 p.m. In less than 16 hours I'll know if my marriage survives this, and honestly I don't know which outcome to hope for anymore. Part of me thinks we can get through this. That we love each other enough to heal from it. That time and therapy and work can fix what's broken. But another part of me wonders if Olivia will ever really trust me again. If she'll always wonder what I'm hiding. If every time I'm late coming home or my phone buzzes, she'll think of those late night calls. I don't know. I really don't know. All I know is that I love my wife, and I'm sorry. And I wish I could go back to that wedding and handle everything differently, but I can't. So all I can do is face tomorrow and hope it's enough. Actually, something just happened. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. It was Patricia, Olivia's mom. She said, Madison, I need you to know something before you talk to Olivia tomorrow. My heart started racing. I said, okay. Patricia said we found something. Some text messages on Amber's phone. She left it at home when she went to the retreat center, and Derek still had a key to the apartment, so he grabbed some of her stuff. I said, what kind of messages? Patricia was quiet for a second. Then she said messages between Amber and some guy named Tyler. Going back months. Maybe longer. She said the messages were bad. Really bad. Like emotional affair bad. I didn't understand. I said I thought Amber was in love with me. Patricia said that's what we all thought too. But these messages tell a different story. She said according to the texts, Amber had been seeing Tyler for at least 8 months. Meeting him secretly. Telling him she was going to call off the wedding. Then changing her mind. Then saying she'd leave Derek after the honeymoon. Back and forth. Over and over. But Tyler got tired of waiting. 2 weeks before the wedding, he broke things off. Told Amber he was done being the other guy. That she needed to figure out what she wanted. Patricia said the last text from Tyler was from the morning of Amber's wedding. He said, I hope you're happy with your choice. Don't contact me again. I felt like I was falling through space. I said I don't understand. What does this have to do with me? Patricia said we think Amber panicked. When Tyler ended things, she realized she couldn't go through with marrying Derek, but she couldn't admit the truth about Tyler either. So she made up the thing about you. I said made up. Patricia said fabricated, created. Used you as a cover story for why she didn't want to be married to Derek. My legs went weak. I sat down hard on the floor. I said, but the kiss. The calls. She seemed so genuine. Patricia said she was probably genuine in that moment. Sometimes people convince themselves of their own lies. Or maybe she thought if she committed to the story hard enough it would become true. Either way, Patricia said the whole thing about being in love with me for 6 years was likely a lie. A way to blow up her marriage without exposing her actual affair. I asked why she was telling me this. Patricia Patricia said because Olivia deserves to know the truth, and you deserve to know that you were just collateral damage in Amber's mess. She said they confronted Amber about it this morning, called the retreat center. Amber admitted to the affair with Tyler, said she panicked at the wedding and I was there, and it seemed easier to say she had feelings for me than to admit she'd been cheating on Derek for months. She said Amber apparently broke down, said she didn't mean to hurt me or Olivia, that she just didn't know what else to do, that everything spiraled out of control. Patricia apologized, said they never should have blamed me, that they should have known something didn't add up. I was crying, just sitting on my floor with Pepper licking my face crying. Patricia said she'd tell Olivia tonight, that Olivia deserved to hear it from family first, but that she wanted me to know too, that she was sorry for how she treated me. Then she hung up and I just sat there in complete shock. It was all fake. The confession, the feelings, the calls, all of it was Amber trying to cover up a real affair by creating a fake one, and I almost lost my marriage over it. I don't know how long I sat there. Long enough for Pepper to get worried and start whining, long enough for it to get dark outside. My phone buzzed again. This time it was Olivia. The text just said, "My mom told me everything. I'm coming over now. I'm so sorry. I love you." I texted back, "I love you too. I'm here." 20 minutes later, Olivia showed up at our door. Our door, not my door. She looked at me and just started crying, and I started crying, and we held each other in the doorway for what felt like hours. She kept saying, "I'm sorry. I should have believed you. I should have known you wouldn't do that." And I said, "I'm sorry too. I should have told you right away. I should have protected us better." We went inside and talked for hours, really talked, about everything, about how scared I was of causing drama, about how betrayed Olivia felt, about how manipulative Amber had been to both of us. Olivia said she felt so stupid for not seeing it sooner, for not questioning Amber's story more, for taking her sister's word over mine. I said we both wanted to believe the best about people we loved. That's not stupid. That's just being human. She said Jessica actually questioned it from the start, said something felt off about the whole thing, but Olivia was too hurt and angry to listen. We ended up falling asleep on the couch together around midnight, Pepper squeezed between us, and for the first time in weeks, I slept through the whole night. This morning, we woke up tangled together, and Olivia said, "What do we do now?" I said we move forward. We heal. We probably need couples therapy, but we do it together. She agreed. Said she wants to try, that what we have is worth fighting for. We've been talking about boundaries, about what happens with Amber, with the family, with everything. Olivia's parents want her to cut contact with Amber entirely, at least for now. Derek's annulment is still going through. The family is completely fractured, but Olivia and I are okay. Not perfect, not magically healed, but okay. We're going to her parents' house later today. Patricia and Richard want to apologize in person. Want to make sure I know I'm still family, still welcome at Thanksgiving. Part of me wants to be petty and refuse. Make them work for it, but that's not who I am. And honestly, I'm just so tired. Tired of drama, tired of being angry, tired of all of it. I just want to go back to my normal boring life with my wife and my dog and our stupid arguments about whose turn it is to take out the trash. As for Amber, she's still at the retreat center. Probably will be for a while. No one's heard from Tyler since those texts were discovered. Derek sent me a message this morning. Said he's glad the truth came out. That at least now it makes sense. That he's sorry I got dragged into Amber's chaos. I told him I was sorry too. That he deserved better. He said we both did. And you know what? We really did. Right now, Olivia's in the shower and I'm making breakfast. Scrambled eggs and toast. Nothing fancy. Just normal couple breakfast. Pepper's begging for scraps. The coffee maker is gurgling. Traffic noise from outside our window. Everything is beautifully mundane. My phone is on the counter and there are no missed calls. No voicemails from unknown numbers. No panic, just peace finally. And that's enough. More than enough, actually. That's everything.